Hi, welcome back to Dial Twang. I'm Dave. So this is a quick follow-up to that video from a couple of days ago. I think it's labeled "Old School Rock and Roll" or "Old Time Rock and Roll Jam Band Style." It's this Chuck Berry type progression and rhythm, 1-4-5 in A. It goes like. Okay. Um, it's not. I quit labeling videos part one and part two some time ago. I was doing that at first when I started the channel, and then I think that was sending the wrong, made it seem like, oh, that you had to do them together, or it wouldn't make sense unless did part one. And I'm very mindful of making each video, a thing in and of itself. It's just that sometimes there's more ideas, and if I try to talk about every idea that pops in my head in a 15 or 20-minute video, it crams too much explanation into it, and the cost is not enough, concise demonstration, right? So that's why I spread them out sometimes, and if I'm really digging one, I'll just be like, man, I keep getting more ideas. And I feel like I need to tell everybody about this or something. So, pretty very similar to what we did in that one the other day, except this time I really chunked it out into like three, distinct positions and stuff that you can do to kind of map it out like an actual solo and not so it's not quite as abstract, right? Um, so hope you enjoy it. Um, get you going here. I'm gonna put the track on, and I'm gonna do the first time through the progression down in this position, and then stop and talk about it a little bit. Gotta wait for that. That's up to the five back to the. Okay, so not exactly what I did in the intro. Never going to be exactly the same, right? This is not something where you've got to like back that sucker up and copy that lick for an hour and a half. You will burn yourself out, man. I do it a lot on YouTube, and I can pick up on stuff pretty quick, but sometimes I'm like, man, I'm about 20% into this thing, and I'm already just like kind of tanking, you know, trying to, and because it's skills that are kind of, I'm attracted, we all are, to something that we're not used to doing. You're like, oh man, yeah, I like that, and that's great, that motivation, but it, it- it's it's hard to accept that what the best we can really hope for is take what we need, leave the rest, right? And if you've got mad skills and you can just pick up anything that somebody shows you, that's great. Um, so I don't want to say that it's one way or the other. It's a whole spectrum of your skills and the age of your brain and your body, and where you are in that peak of your performance and so forth. Um, but you know, when I say chunk it out, we're talking about like here's the stuff, the main mechanics and ideas in this position, then the main mechanics and ideas and melody ideas in this position, right? And then do your own thing. So here's what is going on in that first pass there. So I'm doing that kind of thing, right? Now, like I said, there can be 1,000 versions of that, things that you can do using those skills. So that's the way to practice chunking, right? Now, that harmonized part is the melody is roughly the more I slow it down, the more I can't really duplicate it each time, right? And that's okay. Embrace that yourself when you're doing it. Don't stop and back up. Oh, that's wrong. I got to do it. I got to start over. Keep going. Keep going. Make those loops into a spiral so that they lead you to something beyond what I showed you. Um, so that the harmonized part is I'm putting the keeping this pinky down on this. It's the note is E. It's the fifth fret of that second string. And it's kind of pinching it down here, right, with these two, along with the pick. I'm kind of just using the pick. Wherever you hear those more than one note, it's that the hook, right? So not going to get into a real precise thing about that, but and if you don't hit all of that evenly and the same, don't worry about it. Out that junk sounds good. Right? A lot of the stuff you're doing, I guarantee you, it sounds a whole lot better than you think it does. Okay? And you're not everybody, but there's a good chance that many of you out there, and myself too, many of us at all different levels are, you know, criticizing our work to the point that it might be holding us back. Let that stuff go, man. Just keep going. All right. So that was the first idea over the A there. And then the D, I just played a D chord. All right, now that boogie woogie stuff that we were doing kind of on the A works on the E. Just move it down a string. I like to do that. I tried to kind of correct. I was going to do a simpler version of it, but that's just what I do naturally. But any version of that boogie woogie stuff, it worked great over this stuff. And it's very movable, right, which is cool. So that D chord, don't be afraid to just let stuff ring out for, a few beats too, right? We don't always have to keep the notes going in eighths and sixteenths, right? So here's my idea of how I chunked out that first pass. We caught it right at the beginning that time, didn't we? We'll wait. Okay. And I'm really just backing off on that last A, right? Just kind of get a little chicken head. Okay. The thing here is to feel the dance. Get your body into this. Don't get it can't just be brain and fingers, right? All of this is in between, and that's what connects it. Okay. And if you're trying to do too much, too fast, often, the connection's not being made for many. I do this all the time, and I can play, I can learn fairly advanced riffs and things by watching videos myself. Um, but I know right away when I'm just going from head to hand. That's all I'm doing. I'm just forced. I'm not feeling it. I'm not relaxed. I'm like, it starts here and then it's here and then it's my shoulders like above my head and it gets really, you know what I'm talking about, right? It gets really bad. So, take things away, right? At first, if it makes more sense. That sounds fine. And for most of a song, if you're with playing with a band or practicing or at a gig, that's what you're doing 95% of the time, right? You're kind of comping all that stuff, right? Putting a few juicy notes in there or whatever. Then when comes time to play that solo, you want to have some licks. So we try to cover all the bases there, but put that backing track on and find some place where you can really groove and feel it in your body. That's where you want to start working. Don't try to, cut to the front of the line, right? I'm just going to do it all, for, before supper. It's not going to work out that way. But you're doing good stuff. So the next thing I did was I went up to, kind of awkward how I walked it back down there, but here's what's basically going on. Now we're up in this minor pentatonic, but we're using the major third a lot. So hammering that. Any of that Chuck Berry, Johnny B. Good stuff that you got going on, slide it. Great place to do, play more than one note at a time. But not that complicated because you got that nice. You're right in that good little, pocket there. So, on the D, again, I kind of laid off of it. I just did like a, almost like kind of a Leonard Skinner type thing for the D. So it was like, right. That's more of the southern licks, right? For this thing, I just like to really keep that simple. Let me show you that again. I just think that sounds cool to really. I don't know. I like that. It's really gives you some space and it feels dancey to me. It doesn't feel like it's crammed full of notes. After that, I'm just going up to this kind of E major pentatonic. And ending on A somehow, right? So something like this. Okay, so that whole thing kind of looks like this. And I'll talk about how to end it a little bit just after this. But so far, here's what we got going. start it over because I missed that beginning, didn't I? Okay. Now, what I'm doing here after the E major pentatonic, just the last chord I'm playing there, the last couple passes that I showed you, I'm going up to that. So that's like your C shape of a cage, you know, for A. Turns out you can play an open A string there too. I think in the main intro, I might have gone down, you know, like. You know, just kind of one finger, you know, all the way down there or something. That's a little awkward because you got to have some real, you know, kind of quick recovery in your positions to move from one to another like that real quick. That might not be as good of an idea for some of you right now, but you know, this sort of thing. I need the track on for a second to show you. I like that. That's a good little plan for you, you know. That sort of thing. Just work out a little melody. Sing a little melody in your head. Stop the track. You know, don't just say, back it up and see what notes he played. Sing something to yourself. Work it out. You're going to do so much more than you think you can. That's the exciting thing about it. Doesn't matter what level you're at. Once you kind of switch into that, once you step into that space where you're just going to trust it and really listen to that inner musical voice, it's stuff just starts coming out of nowhere, and that's the magic, right? But you got to listen to that thing that you're hearing inside. Try to copy that more so than copying every other player that you hear. Do that as well, because that's also really good for your musical development. But you know, don't leave your own voice turned off. Pay attention to it. Have fun with this one. Take care.